So Leanne, here at Petershill Park, ahead of the match against Hibernian, how are you and the squad feeling?
Really excited. Yeah, I think it's been a long time coming. I think 11 weeks we've had a break from the domestic game, and a lot's happened in between that. So I think just to have a game of football and certainly matches against Hibernian are always close encounters. So yeah, we're looking forward to it and hope to hit the ground running.
Before we come on to pre-season and the big match, let's obviously talk about the big thing that's happened in between that you touched upon, the World Cup. How was it being a player in that squad? Yeah,
it was, listen, as a player you have the expectations that you want to win football matches and you want to achieve and do the best that you possibly can, and I think we've come away feeling like we probably could have done better, and that's probably the hardest thing to digest. If you step back from that and you look at it, probably from the outside looking in, it's something I'm really proud to have been part of, and really proud of the team of players that were there, and the way they conducted themselves on the pitch, and the games were really close encounters in all the matches, and I think that's something that moving forward into the next tournament is things that we can learn from in the next qualifying campaign, and we'll learn from that and we'll be better for it.
From a personal perspective, obviously you got to start in the last game against Argentina. Were you expecting that? Was that something you were aware of going into the game?
No, listen, throughout the whole campaign I've always made sure that if I'm called upon, then I'll be ready and I'll do what I try to do in the domestic game and perform the way that I can perform. And I think as the tournament crept on and the two games came and went, and again you need to keep that same focus. Anything can happen, and when I got that opportunity, I made sure that everything I had was left on the pitch that night, and I certainly feel that I was able to do that, and that's where the real disappointment in the result comes, because you can't enjoy the team's performance, especially up until that 70-minute mark when we were so comfortable, and I think we showed the world the team that Scotland can be, and the players that we've got and the potential that we've got. So it was nice to play at the World Cup and whatever, but the results are more important, and maybe in a couple of years' time I'll be looking back with a different viewpoint.
Was it a little bit bittersweet, because a lot of people said that you were one of the standout players that night, you played really well for the team. Was it disappointing therefore to obviously not get the result that you wanted from that performance? Oh,
listen, it's nice that people have spoke well of me in terms of the performance. For me, I just try to do the job that I know that I can do and that I can bring to the team, and that might be slightly different from other players and what they can bring. For me, I had a real focus going into the match, and I knew the job that personally I needed to do, and certainly the positivity surrounding what the team could achieve. But listen, it's one game, and it's how I as an individual move on into the next game and continue those performances that people expect, and also how the team move on from that as well.
So one of the parts of the World Cup we had SWPL players that participated, yourself included. Hibs had players there as well. This will be the game where you can watch yourselves and those players in action. Do you think it's a credit to the league, the fact that we had so many players out there participating in the Scotland squad this time round?
Yeah, I think so, and I think the clubs have got a lot of credit to take from that, and then the players individually and collectively. Players that don't have a professional environment to perform within create that professional environment for themselves to certainly feel that they can perform to the best of their ability. So it was a credit to the Scottish-based players and the environment that we have, that we managed to make the team and get there. And now it's the real buzz and the hope is that the fans get behind us now and that they come and watch. And if you were really affected and taken in by the World Cup experience, then you can come here on Sunday and hopefully you'll see many of those players performing, and that's a nice thing for young kids to have, and to have that contact time with role models and players that they aspire to be like.
In terms of the pre-season, there's not been too much change in the squad, but one addition in Rachel McLaughlin. How's it been leading up to this first part of the season?
Yeah, for us we're really focused. The team's been back in training now for a couple of weeks, and everybody's come back in really good condition. Rachel's a fantastic addition to the side, and she was always a player that when you go toe to toe with her, when she played on the other side, that she was always a really difficult opponent, and a player that I've admired in terms of her physical attributes and her technical ability, you know, she's really comes across as an experienced player for being someone so young as well. So for us, it's a fantastic player to have, and certainly, you know, the game on Sunday just adds you that wee bit more bit between your teeth that you're looking forward to it, and we know how close these encounters have been in the past, so it's given us that wee bit extra determination in pre-season, you know, making sure that the hard work is going to pay off.
Going into this match, can you give us an idea of, I guess, what the aim is to take from it? Because obviously you've got a bit of a healthy lead at the moment, points-wise, over Hibs and Celtic. Is it a game that you still want to go out and see as a must-win, or is it one of those that if you were to take a draw perhaps going into it, what would you say?
I think the nature of the game doesn't allow you to approach it with any other attitude other than you want to win the game, because you don't go into a game against your biggest rivals looking to draw the match, or you know, to try and just stay in the game. For us, we want to win. We want to try and increase that points tally if we can, because we're aware that obviously Hibernian have strengthened as a side and are getting better as the season goes on, but also teams like Celtic and Rangers, you know, we've heard lots about their investment and you know, the contact time that they now have with players. So I would expect that those teams would be improving in the latter part of the season as well, and those will also be big games for us. So Sunday's about 3 points, and it's about us making sure that we, you know, get back to doing what we do best, and you know, hopefully a lot of fans can get behind us and enjoy the match.
And just finally, you have, you know, inspired a generation. I think everyone can agree on that. What would you say to encourage people to come out and turn up on Sunday and show the support? Yeah,
like I said, if, you know, as a kid, if I had watched a World Cup and, you know, people that you were able to see were on the TV, and a journey that you had followed, and you become emotionally involved in that, and if you were given the chance to meet those players, you know, I would have bitten your hand off for that. So we just hope that kids here in Scotland are feeling the same excitement that we have, and that they're proud of what we have done, and that they can now come and be part of that journey, and with that we'll support them on their journey, you know, through their football pathway, and we hope to make Scotland, you know, a top footballing nation, even better than it is already.